Yo guys, what's going on? My name is Eclipse, and today we will be going over the top 5 things that noobs do in Clash Royale. Now I do believe I made a video similar to this a few months ago, but since then I've gained hundreds of thousands of new subscribers and my list has changed quite a bit. Now real quickly, before I do begin this video, if you guys would like to enter my giveaway, please feel free and do so. I am giving away everything you can see on the screen now, and the link to enter is at the very top of my description below. So with that taken care of, let's get started into the top 5 things that noobs do in Clash Royale. Coming into number 5, this is gonna be staying at 10 Elixir. So I'm not too sure what goes through some people's minds when they first get the game, but they'll literally be sitting at 10 Elixir until the enemy's troops cross the bridge, and I hope whatever gameplay I find in the background does justify this. And if you ever go to TV Royale, you'll see exactly what I mean. These people will just sit at 10 Elixir, and then once the enemy crosses the bridge, or once the enemy's on the bridge, they'll just put all of their troops down and spend all of their Elixir at once. Now generally speaking, you never want your Elixir to hit 10. You want to put troops down like a second before it does hit 10. Now there are some cases where it is okay to sit at 10 Elixir for an extra second or two, but those cases are very rare, and more often than not, you just want to put a troop down whenever your Elixir is about to be full. But these noobs, like I said, I don't know what goes through their mind. They will just sit at 10 Elixir for no apparent reason whatsoever. It's like they don't make any effort to try and counter any enemy troops, and it's for that reason right there that this is taking the number 5 spot. Coming into the number 4 spot, this is going to be the random troop spam. So whenever you're spectating someone pretty low in trophies, there's always these few people that will put a troop down whenever their Elixir hits a certain mark. So what I mean by this, let's say someone has 5 Elixir, they'll put their prince down. Let's say they get to 5 Elixir, they'll immediately send a giant in. Let's say they get to 3 Elixir, they'll immediately send a knight in. Like, some people do not plan pushes whatsoever, and they don't even try to build Elixir to try and build a massive push. Instead, they keep sending one troop at a time in hopes to slowly deal damage. This isn't an issue just in like arenas 1 and 2 only. I see people in arena 5 doing the same thing. Now all these videos you've been watching throughout this entire week, these are all pre-recorded, but I have a video going up in a few days where I'm on my second account, Clickbait Jr., and there are people around like 1,300 trophies who are still doing this one troop at a time tactic, and the only reason it annoys me so much is because I have to comply and counter them, and in return I can't build any pushes of my own. So with that taken care of, let's swap out of the number 4 spot and switch on over to mistake number 3, and this is the habit of expensive decks. Now when I first started playing Clash Royale, I was a victim of this myself. I remember I would put like all of the purple cards and all of the orange cards in my deck, and just because they're a higher rarity than a common card, they are obviously better. Am I right? So essentially my deck pretty much just consisted of like all of the heavy cards, and I only put them in there because I assumed like, hey, this card's high in Elixir value, so that means it's obviously, you know, a good card, so I should put it. So I was like a level 3 at the time, and my deck was probably costing me 4.3 Elixir, and I know some people out there are like, Eclipse, 4.3 Elixir isn't that much, and if you have an Elixir pump and if you know how to play heavy decks, it can be fine. But the thing is, when you're new to the game and when you don't know how to play cards and play certain troops, having an expensive deck is like the worst idea ever. It's like a hit or miss. Some battles you'll do good, some battles you won't, and I remember I was constantly like, what the hell, this game's stupid, I never have enough Elixir to push, and I had some pretty hardcore rage moments when I was a noob in this game. But I'm kind of happy I grew out of that phase because it was not a fun thing to be around. And if you guys are ever scoping around TV Royale, just look in the lower arenas, you're gonna see some low levels like 1s and 2s with pretty heavy decks, and if you watch them play, they're constantly in need for Elixir. So now that we have that taken care of, let's switch on over to noob mistake number 2, and this is gonna be focused all around gems. So I couldn't pick one particular area, so I'm just gonna cover everything that has to do with gems and stuff that I know people do all the time. So when you first download Clash, you're gonna see that you don't have a lot of gems, and if you want more, you're gonna notice that they cost a decent amount of money. And something which a lot of new players do is they try to get free gems by getting free gem generators. So if you you Google Clash Royale free gem generator, you find all of these BS programs. Some of them make you give your email and password, and that ultimately leads to your account getting hacked, and other free gem generators just make you type your name and it makes you think it works, but in reality, all of these generators are fake. So a lot of noobs out there, they realize they need gems, they try getting them for free, but they realize, hey, I can't actually get gems for free, and yeah, it pretty much goes from there. And one thing that I noticed a lot of my friends and family have done is they just spent like all of their gold upgrading cards right away in Clash, and then they use gems to get more gold to upgrade more cards, so they pretty much just wasted their gems on random things instead of saving them. Because if I can restart Clash now, I would pretty much save all of my gems for like tournaments, and if there was maybe an epic card in my shop, I may try to save gems for that, because as a low level, gold is definitely scarce, so using gems to buy like an epic or a rare card, that can be pretty useful. But I've seen people just use gems to get gold so they can upgrade all of their cards to the highest level they can, and that right there isn't too effective. So because of the noobs that just waste their resources on absolutely anything, this is why this is in the number 2 spot. And moving on to the final number 1 spot of this video, we are going to be talking about random spells. And I know in my previous top 5 things a noob does in Clash Royale, this was in the countdown somewhere, but people still do this, and it's not just in Clash. Like, if you ever play a Clash Royale ripoff, people still do the same thing. They'll send random fireballs, random arrows, they'll arrow the king tower, fireball the king tower, they'll send random spells on towers just to deal more chip damage, and overall, it's not a good strategy, it's very ineffective, and I wonder at what point do people realize like, hey, this is actually pretty stupid. And I'm trying to think to when I was a low level, like, did I send these random fireballs in? Because I can't really remember. I hope if I was a low level, I would have some common sense not to do that. Like me looking down on these noobs, I'm kind of like, hey, that's stupid. But obviously as a lower level, you don't quite know right from wrong. So I'm still trying to decide, like, did I actually do this at one point or another? Now there isn't too much to talk about for these random spells, so I am actually gonna be cutting it here. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please feel free to give a like down below. Also drop a comment letting me know one thing that noobs do that always makes you laugh. So guys, this has been Eclipse. Thank you all for watching, and peace out.